So it's another day. Everywhere else in the country is baking hot, especially in the southeast. Up here, however, it's warm, more humid than anything. When the wind picks up, it is a little bit less warm. But you can hear a train going over a bridge. And that's because I'm here at the Fourth Rail Bridge. And it truly is absolutely spectacular. To think all this structure just to take a railway line over the Firth of Forth. At least I think that's what it's called, if my old geography brain cells are still working. I haven't checked. What I do know is that's the first train since I've been here that's blasted its horn, which was quite nice. And secondly, it was built in 1882, so it's been around for a good while. But they figured out how to paint it and not have to start again at the other end. What's also nice is the family on their little rib here. They've just come in, had a little look around, and are now heading off. You don't see that every time, do you? But yes, this bridge, construction began in 1882. It was actually opened in 1890. But it was John Fowler and Benjamin Baker that designed it. And it's made of steel and the piers of granite. But 73 people have died during construction on the actual bridge and the approaches to it up here. And then because that bridge there, the suspension bridge, that was built in 1964, and outside of the US was the longest suspension bridge in the world. Now we can't quite see it from this angle, but when I walk around, I'll show you the new Queensferry crossing. Because I didn't say, but this suspension bridge here is the Fourth Road Bridge. And behind it is the new bridge, which I drove over, which was absolutely spectacular. I have to say though, that my impressions of Edinburgh are it is such a dynamic, moving city. It is far busier than I ever imagined it was going to be. It's on a scale that's larger than I imagined it would be, and the roads are absolutely appalling. I'm not just talking about the confusion, like you're in a left-hand lane that you think's going to turn left but doesn't, and then, you know, Waze will be telling you, you know, in 1,000 feet turn right, and you think, what? Why are you saying this? I can't do that now. And anyway, we figured ourselves out eventually, but it's the state of the actual infrastructure, the potholes, the road surface. It's patch upon patch upon patch upon patch, and I've never seen anything like it. I mean, we complain about some bad roads sometimes and, oh, look at that pothole, but through Edinburgh it is shocking. Come out of Edinburgh and it improves. Come over this bridge and it's absolutely like a billiard table. But I'm not just here just to talk about bridges and Scotland and roads. I want to show you something else. So one thing I've noticed is every now and again a coach will go over the Fourth Bridge here, the Fourth Road Bridge, but no other traffic that I can see. So that's interesting. What's that one about? Is that sort of tours over the bridge? And it's closed to traffic, which would make sense having the new bridge open, obviously. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about what's got me here, and that's this little SLK. Now, I bought this as a second car, and I wanted something, because it was a second car, that was a little bit different. Two-seater, convertible hardtop, fairly powerful engine, bit of fun. Zoom around the lanes of Norfolk, enjoy the summer, come winter, get rid. Well, I don't want to sound too emotional like, you know, Top Gear or the Grand Tour, where they've completed their adventures and they're talking about their cars as their pets they cannot let go. But this car is doing brilliantly. Yesterday I did 274.6 miles. The day before was 226.2 miles. I'm keeping the notes of all of this. And the further I'm going away from home, the longer I've got to go back, obviously. But it has performed brilliantly. Not only mechanically, even coping with Edinburgh's appalling road surfaces, because although it's got a firm suspension, It's not too hard, it's comfortable. And the interior is of a time when Mercedes wasn't trying to be too flash and showing off. And it's a bit dated in some of the ways with the infotainment system, but everything just comes to hand really easily. Like the buttons on the steering wheel and the way the steering wheel just curves in a bit for your thumb to touch it. And, you know, the gear stick and the climate controls and the radio and everything, and even the seats, which at first impressions don't look that comfortable because there's no adjustment, there's no, you know, lumbar adjustment or anything else, but they're actually magnesium framed for lightness, and they are absolutely sublimely comfortable. The only problem is the center console here, the tunnel, is quite wide, and it gets wider here, so there's less space down here for your feet. And so when you're going along with the door closed and you're on cruise control, for example, and you just want to rest your right leg, there's very little room down here for your legs, and I'm not even a tall person. But that said, there are handy little storage parts behind here, in the centre and here. It's a bit of a faff with the cup holders, I must admit, when you want to put a drink and it sort of covers up the vents and stuff. But all those miles and all those hours, I never would have thought that this would have been a good car to come on a trip like this in. But I'm really pleased, A, I have, and B, I've done it in this. Because yes, the X5 would have been more closeted and comfier seats, all, you know, super rich foam and the featherweight power steering and everything else. But for the twisty roads and getting into little car parks that I've been into, like last night, and so on and so forth, this really is such a nice little car, and I rather like it. So that's talked about the car, that's where we are. But what's going on? Well, I'm not staying in Edinburgh again. I'm going to come another time on the train and spend the weekend, but I feel like heading further into Scotland. I haven't seen enough, I haven't done enough, and I've got the opportunity to do this, and I love this form of travel. I'm a Gemini, and I don't like to be staying in one place or not doing stuff. I want to be doing things, exploring, going places, even if it's a bit strange and makes little sense to other people. That, for example, let's be honest, I drove from Bridlington in Yorkshire yesterday to Edinburgh, and I arrived in Edinburgh about 6:30 in the evening, and I checked into my hotel, had a faff about because their car park was full, and I had to park the car in an NCP and walk back to the hotel with all my luggage, and then I went out and had a meal, and by the time I got back to the room it was about 8:15, and then I didn't have the most relaxing night's sleep last night. Not sure why, just lots of things running through my mind. And then I had housekeeping knocking on the door early this morning, thinking the room was unoccupied, even though it was. And then I thought, well, that scrubs are laying. And then I took a brief walk around, thought Edinburgh has a lot to offer, but I haven't got the time and patience for it right now. Let's get on the road. And that sums it up. So I've come all this way to Edinburgh. I've had people say to me, oh, you know what you should do, you know where you should go, try this, go there. And all I'm basically doing is get to a place, stop, sleep, get back in the car, go to another place. It's just like the captain's blog, it's just like on a boat. I'm in Wroxham one day, I'll do a blog when I'm going along, we'll get to another destination miles and miles away and say, you know, Beccles, and then I'll turn the camera off, I'll go into Beccles, I'll have a pint and a bit in the Wetherspoons, I'll come back to the boat, I'll go to sleep, and the next day I'll say, right, today we're going to go off to Norwich. But in those places I'm not looking around or going to those places necessarily to look at those places. I'm going there for that bit of adventure in the process of getting there, if you know what I mean. I think I need to become an HGV driver or a coach driver. Something that involves driving and going to places, but not actually really giving much of a toss what's there. And if I was doing that, I'd be paid for it as well, which would be handy. So yeah, where are we going now? Well, I don't know. And sorry I'm covering up the lens. I was thinking about Inverness, but I haven't got a clue. So I'm going to look at the map, aka Waze. And I just want to point out, by the way, all of this trip has all been possible because of an iPhone and Waze. It has helped me with police speed camera vans. It's helped me with objects that have been in the road and roadworks. It's a brilliant little app. Yes, it uses data. Yes, if you're in a place with no data, I'm not quite sure what would happen then. But I have the backup sat-nav in the car, which doesn't need data. But there you go, all this stuff, all these journeys, just get in the car with a phone, off you go. No need for a map, no need for a plan. Book your hotels through the phone with an app. That's what I like about modern days and modern tech and life and everything else. You couldn't do this before as easily. So, I'm going to have a look at the map and I'll let you know when I get there where we ended up. Yeah, so because the reception on the radio is so bad, I've got this for a bit of comedic listening, and 4 CDs of great driving music for £6. And I'll show you how you work the CD player. You just feed it discs and it swallows them and stacks them. Plus, obviously, shortbreads. So that's covered me completely because I've heard bagpipes, I've got some shortbreads, and I've got some tartan. I'm sorted. Also, it's starting to rain. You probably can't see that. Everywhere else in the country it's like 30 degrees, but here it's just spitting with rain. Destination for tonight, Aberdeen. I've just been debating, is it telephony or telephony? Whatever. I can Bluetooth calls into this, but I can't stream music. So I'll show you what we do. This, by the way, is where we are. That's where we've come from. This is where we're going to. Good old-fashioned, old-school nav. So bear with me. This is Mercedes. We press disc. It says change your empty. Now, I've got 7 slots. No, I've got 6 slots for CDs. Plus I can put an SD card in there for putting music on there. It's also got a hard disk drive that I can put music from the CD, rip it off the CD into the hard disk drive. Really like high-end stuff for the time, this. So anyway, we take our CD. I mean, I can't remember the last time I even used a CD, let alone bought some, but we take the CD out. I press this button. This is Mercedes, remember? Now I have to press OK. I can't just try and put it in. See, it won't work. It's Mercedes. It's German engineering. I have to press OK. Now I can insert the disc. Not the sort of thing you can do when you're driving along, this really, is it? Let's just... Alright. Christ almighty. Right, now, I go to 2, I do OK, I take my second disc. So the changer is actually behind here, the stack system. How easy would this be to forget you've put all these CDs in the car, sell the car and go, oh shit, I've got 6 CDs left in it somewhere. I won't bore you with the whole process, but we now have a second disc. So we fill it up, and once it's filled up, I then don't have to worry about opening this and all the rest of it. So that's how the CD changer works on an SLK. So I'm here, stressed. Getting into Aberdeen, not a problem. Getting to this hotel and their policies and parking, a problem. Because it's an apartment in a residential apartment block. So that means you park with all the other residents, but you're only allowed to park between bays 9 and 29. And you have to give them your bay number. So I've already been in the hotel and I've had to come back now to get my bay number. So yeah, what an ordeal. And it's a Marriott new build, which has presented its own problems in as much as it's in a pedestrian area. But Waze doesn't know that. So because I almost went into a pedestrian area covered by cameras to tell it, you know, in other words, I see where that white car's just turned, so I had to go down there initially because I'll just show you the Granite City. A lot softer the accent here, and I kind of prefer it to Edinburgh, but yeah, see here it's pedestrians, well, cycles and buses and coaches only, and then there's the cameras that monitor it, and all of this is the new build. And then the apartments are up there. It's a rather nice view. Well, not really, but it's all right. Coffee, presso, blah blah blah. So I'm just going to go up to the room. Journey here, uneventful. Seems like the motorway network here is like privately maintained, so they're good. And then the minute you come into any, so far as I'm finding, Scottish city, the roads fall apart. Cracks, potholes, humps, crash, bang, wallop, you name it, it's going on. So that's my thing I'm taking back from Scotland is you might get free prescriptions, but my God, please sort your roads out. I know you get some harsh weather and stuff, but oh, I miss Norfolk and their smooth roads, and they're not the best in the country, but they're so better than here. So I'll show you the room or the apartment when I get up there, and that'll be the end of today. Let's do a tour of the room. This is identical in layout and much of the amenities to Holiday Inn's Staybridge Suites, which I stayed at a few times in Heathrow. This, however, is nothing to do with Holiday Inn, it's a Marriott. But what you get basically, as you can see, is a little kitchen area with a sink, a 2-burner induction hob, nice little kettle. You even get takeaway cups so you can make your coffee in the morning and head off out, take it with you. You get a lovely sized fridge complete with an ice box, which is nice. Got all your cutleries, utensils, there's a toaster, black bag cleaning materials, a dishwasher, and in here you've got your bin and your dishwasher tablets, etc. Up here you've got pots and pans and a frying pan, you've got your crockeries, microwave oven. This is where you sit to eat, as you can see, with a couple of sort of bar stools, your glassware and an ice bucket, all very stylish and modern. And then moving over here you've got the main part of the room, which is a king size bed, a nice seat which doesn't make up into a bed, it's just a nice seat to sit down and watch telly, with a really handy table. And then over here you've got your writing desk, television, and obviously you've got your high-speed internet, and you can stream to the television. The television's a smart TV Wi-Fi. So if you've got, say, Netflix on your tablet or phone, you can link it to the telly as well, which is always cool. And then moving around here, the AC's just come on. This is the wardrobe area, safe hairdryer, place to store your case. There's probably going to be an ironing board. There is. But where is the toilet? Well, you slide this huge mirror back, and there is the bathroom, which is massive. There's a laundry bin because there's on-site laundry. Leave it in the morning, get it back in the afternoon. Big shower, as you can see. Lovely bathroom here, all of the usual things, a low-level WC, you've got your towels there, a big mirror here. So, all in all, not bad. And masses of this is a hell of a lot cheaper than last night's accommodation, which was in Edinburgh, Hamptons by Hilton. Nicer room, and the air conditioning works better. So Aberdeen, well, it's been spitting with rain. It might thunder tonight. It's incredibly humid out. Not that warm, but in fact, actually, you can see it's raining. Yeah, it is. That's all wet. God, that's a bit of a thing to look at on the eyes, isn't it? All those different coloured... Yeah, wow. Psychedelic, man. Colour combinations and everything. But yeah, so this is what it's basically like if you buy one of these new boxes to live in. You're just sealed away from everything in the world in your own little box. But this gives me the opportunity to stay here maybe for a little bit longer because it's a little self-catering. Although you get maid service, they make the beds, they take the towels, da-dee-doo-dee-doo. So it's the best of both worlds, where it's kind of a hotel but a bit different to a typical room. So my impressions basically so far of Aberdeen is it's nicer than Edinburgh, it's smaller, it seems a bit more slow and more polite. Edinburgh is much like London. It's go, 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 and there's so many people and there's so much traffic and everything else. There seems a lot to do around the harbour area. Looks very pleasing. I'd love to go out, but I've left the brolly in the car. Good. But yes, what I'm finding fascinating is what I'm learning about this country, about Scotland, about characters and people and places. And although I might not be going any further into Scotland, I don't want to just head back to Edinburgh and down the A1. So I think I'm going to head towards sort of Glasgow and then down the west of the UK and maybe explore a bit of those places. Or I might not. I might go back to Norfolk. I'm not sure. But I'm enjoying what's going on. And my advice is if you have the opportunity to do this kind of thing, do it. Don't just say I'm going to go for a week in Margate, for example. But to do this, I know it's not for everyone, because, you know, you spend a night in a hotel and then the next day, sorry for judging the camera there, but the next day you pack your bags and you're off to somewhere else, and I literally don't know where I'm going until I get in the car and think, right, let's see the map, where do I feel like going? But that kind of buzz about the adventure is what keeps it interesting. So yes, it's very nice, and I'm not sure why I'm doing these videos. It was supposed to be about the car. Well, I did do certain things about the car. Oh, also, I've got some Scottish money. It's only a £5, but it at least is a proper Scottish £5, Royal Bank of Scotland. So that'd be interesting if I keep this and try and spend it in England, where someone's never seen them before, and go, what the hell's this? Is this a euro? No. What is it then? It's a Scottish £5. You can only use that in Scotland then. So anyway, why are we like that with things? Whereas the Scots will see an English tenor and be like, fine. Anyway, it's a nice place to stay. It looks like it's a nice city out there. I'm going to get my brolly. I'm going to go out, have an explore, get some grub, and I might be staying here extra long, or I might be going in the morning. I've booked a night. I can always extend that stay. And I might put these videos out publicly, because that would really annoy my followers on YouTube who are eager for boating content and have been teased with a short video of about a minute long going under Roxton Bridge in Broad Ambition, and now if they saw this they'd probably pull their hair out. But there we go. So another day comes to an end, and if you have been, thanks for watching this.